welcome, regardless of race, ethnicity, gender, sexuality or anything else for that matter. People make Glasgow is the city slogan, and Pride House epitomises our pride in our city and its people. It's only right therefore that we are back here during the Homeless World Cup. Homelessness can be impacted by a number of issues, not least many of the issues faced by the LGBTI community, both here and, sad to say, in far too many countries across the world. But being different is often illegal and met with cruel and inhumane treatment, both at the hands of government and wider society. Scotland is seen as a beacon of light with regard to LGBTI issues, but there is still so much to do. There can be no resting on our laurels when it comes to the fight for equality. That fight can be seen just around the corner at George Square. The 2016 Homeless World Cup takes place during the most successful period in Glasgow's sporting history, with the city having hosted some of the world's most prestigious events in recent years, and plenty more to come in the next few years, ladies and gentlemen. Sport changes lives. We know that from experience in Glasgow. It inspires and connects with people on so many levels, and the Homeless World Cup is a perfect example of that. It raises awareness of the challenges faced by many people in communities across the world, but more than that, it shows what can be achieved by working together. More than 500 players from countries all across the world are here in Glasgow for the Homeless World Cup. Each and every one of them has their own unique story to tell as part of the journey to create a better life for themselves. That is what makes this event so powerful. And while the focus will rightly be on the football, thanks to a partnership between Glasgow Life and the Big Lottery, in addition to the football, around 120 volunteers, of whom we have some here tonight, all of whom have been affected at some point in their life by homelessness, have been recruited for a variety of roles, both on and off the pitch. The Legacy Project will give the volunteers new skills and confidence through a post-games programme of sports coaching and creative writing. It's important to recognise that events such as this would not be possible without the support of a range of partners, including our friends at the Homeless World Cup Foundation, the Scottish Government and Event Scotland. It's been a real team effort. However, the event would not have happened without the support of Glasgow City Council and the incredible efforts of the teams at Glasgow Life. They are well used to hosting outstanding events which put Glasgow on a global stage, and the Homeless World Cup will, we hope, be the best ever. No pressure on any of the teams then. I've just been told, incidentally, that the Scotland women's team have qualified for the semi-final of the tournament, which is an absolutely fantastic achievement. Particularly when you consider that the leader of the council and I sat and watched them yesterday play in Mexico and they lost 10-2. And I'm saying, how can you be in the semi-final? And somebody said, it's rigged. And I said, well, that's fine then. That's just smashing. But just being in George Square, watching the players and the volunteers, you start to realise that something special is going on here. They're not just visitors, they're our friends, and the people of Glasgow have welcomed them with open arms. When it comes to who I'll be cheering on, I have to admit, I'm a wee bit biased. It is rare for Scotland to have two teams in a World Cup final. In fact, it's rare for us to have any team in a World Cup final. So I'll be waving my saltire and cheering on the home teams. But like all true Scotland fans, there will be lots of warm support for every other team that's taking part in the tournament. Sport changes lives, never more so than in the case of the Homeless World Cup. Pride House brings together another dimension to our welcome to our city. Provides a safe and welcoming space for LGBTI participants, visitors and supporters. I'd like to thank Leaps Sports Scotland and Hugh Torrance in particular, and I'd like to thank all of the volunteers who do so much to make this space so successful. It couldn't happen without you. Really couldn't. And I was in here earlier in the week and I was looking at the programme of activities that's been organised through here during the period of the Homeless World Cup. It's absolutely astonishing. Absolutely astonishing, the wide range of activities that's been organised through this small space during the Homeless World Cup. So well done everybody, it's absolutely brilliant. And If we could just go back to 2014 for a moment. 2014 was this city's finest hour, without a shadow of a doubt. The Commonwealth Games were our finest hour. And as part of that, we had Pride House. And as part of that, we made people from some of the most horrendous regimes in the world, actually, who were coming here for the Commonwealth Games, feel welcome. The Lord Provost of the City of Glasgow made sure that the Pride flag flew from the top of the city chambers. We done everything we possibly could to welcome everybody from all over the Commonwealth and here at this tournament from all over the world. So tomorrow we will enjoy the last of the action at George Square. I hope you can all get down and cheer on all of the players and volunteers and everyone else that's involved. It's a special event and it shows the true heart and soul of Glasgow, a place where everyone is equal and everyone is treated as a human being. Thank you.
I'd like to take the opportunity to offer folk a very warm welcome to Scotland. Archie's already welcomed folk to Glasgow. I know I always feel very welcome when I come to Glasgow. But welcome to Scotland, to everyone, including all of the players who may be here. I'm not sure if there are any or if they're still up at the pitch there. But in particular, I'd like to welcome those folks from the LGBTI community, as I think that these Pride Houses have shown that Scotland is at the forefront of LGBTI issues, is a progressive nation, and I think that this Pride House scenario should be a feature of every single major sporting event in Scotland and beyond. The Scottish Government firmly believes that there is no place in Scotland for prejudice or discrimination, and that everyone deserves to be treated fairly, regardless of who they are. We recognise the particular challenges that face LGBTI people in sport, and from grassroots right through to elite sports, there are additional hurdles that face these competitors and participants on a daily basis. Being able to overcome these and continue to do what they do so effectively just makes any successes these communities have in sport even more impressive. The Scottish Government has been particularly engaged in promoting equality in sport since 2012. It was in this year that the Scottish Government began funding Leap Sports Scotland, an organisation that works for greater inclusion for LGBTI people in sport and also against homophobia in a sports context. And I would like to pay tribute to Hugh Torrance and all those at Leap Scotland for the efforts that you have made in that regard and the differences that you have made from that time. The Scottish Government, along with Glasgow, was delighted to host the Commonwealth Games in 2014, as Archie has already said. And that Commonwealth Games had LGBTI equality and inclusivity at its core. Hosting the Games provided Scotland with a unique opportunity to demonstrate its support for LGBTI inclusivity and to share good practice with other countries to promote discussion and positively influence change in these areas. The first Pride House at the Commonwealth Games welcomed more than 6,000 visitors over 11 days. And as an inclusive nation, we demonstrated to the Commonwealth and the world that Scotland stands for equality. The Government remains committed to building on this success, to tackle inequality, promote equal and inclusive sport, and to work together with partners to reduce the barriers that prevent LGBTI people from fully participating in sport. Pride House here opened last Saturday, and thanks to the numerous supporters and volunteers, has been able to provide a wide range of free events for those visiting the city during the 2016 Homeless World Cup. Again, A sincere thank you to Leap Scotland, Sport Scotland and Unity Enterprise for making Pride House in Glasgow a reality. The Homeless World Cup is a sporting event like no other, and it's something that the Scottish Government is incredibly proud to support. Through sport, we can give people a purpose, improving not only their health, but their self-confidence and self-esteem too. The Homeless World Cup is one of the best examples of this, harnessing sport's abilities to bring people together and change their lives for the better. We can energise and engage those who, for whatever reason, have become socially excluded. The Homeless World Cup looks to support those who have had to deal with homelessness. Here in Scotland, we have some of the most progressive homelessness legislation in the world, and since 2012, all those assessed as being homeless through no fault of their own are entitled to settled accommodation. However, homelessness can be a complex issue, which can be about far more than just the provision of housing. With the achievements that we've seen in recent years, there is recognition that homelessness prevention may include addressing issues around health, personal relationships, and improving outcomes for those with more complex needs, including those who may be sleeping rough. That is why innovative initiatives such as the Homeless World Cup are so important. It is an opportunity to help improve outcomes and prevent and repeat homelessness, including developing personal resilience, which can help individuals achieve their goals. Ladies and gentlemen, Scotland is a country where everyone is welcome. I hope that you're able to enjoy your evening and are able to sample some of our world-famous culture and hospitality. And finally, I'd like to thank all of you who have volunteered during the course of this event for your efforts, because without you, this would not have happened. Thank you.
I mostly just wanted to place this Pride House in the context of the International Pride House movement, which, as some of you know, started in Canada. And since then, we've had events in many places across Europe, including Sochi, and for the Olympics there, which of course was a very hostile environment to be in. And the Commonwealth Games Pride House that has been mentioned here already was the first one in Glasgow. It's very fitting that the Homeless World Cup that there would be a Pride House for this event here in Glasgow. We knew that going to Hugh and to Leap Sports and all the volunteers and the people here, it would be a success. And it was something that we had been trying to make happen, to have a Pride House at the Homeless World Cup specifically for some years. So I mostly just wanted to congratulate Hugh and the other organizers and the volunteers, and also invite anybody who wants to speak to me more about the international movement to come and find me afterwards.
Leap Sports exists to ensure that lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender and intersex people all across Scotland can access, participate and excel in Scottish sport. We work at policy and training level. We train sports governing bodies, we help to advise on policy, but we also have lots of programmes going on, and in 3 weeks from now we'll be doing it all again. We will have 100 young people from all across the UK in Stirling for the annual UK Pride Youth Games, and this is the first time that the Pride Youth Games has come to Scotland, so it's a year of many firsts here for us in Scotland. Mention has been made of 2014, and of course that's because it was Glasgow's finest hour and actually a really proud moment for Scotland. We had 2 years to plan the Pride House next door. We had 2 years to consult with our community about what it might look like. And that led to us pulling off what I do think was probably one of the best things that I've ever been involved in, and an amazing Pride House Glasgow next door. Some of those achievements have been mentioned already, so I won't go back over that, but I would encourage you, if you've not seen it already, we do have a very full evaluation report from that project lying around. If you can't find one, ask a volunteer and they'll get you one. And that outlines lots of the work that happened there and lots of the achievements that were made. It's important for us here, as we were developing this project, to create a space where we could discuss and debate and challenge each other on equality and human rights issues in a constructive but challenging way. And that's the beauty of Pride House. It creates a space to allow you to do that. It's not all about protest, it's not all about celebration, and it's not always all about sport either. It's about culture, sport and community. In particular for this Pride House, we recognise that LGBTI people are still disproportionately represented within the homeless population, and there are still particularly significant issues for LGBTI people in asylum and refugee circumstances. So we felt it really important to have a space where we could really focus on exploring those intersections, and lots of really powerful discussions have happened on this stage throughout the course of this week. It's also important for us to create a space which is non-commercial and which allows the opportunity for parents, families, kids, teenagers, people of all ages, as well as lots of people from our transgender community and intersex community who don't always feel part of a commercial scene somewhere else. And this space again has had lots of events particularly targeted at those communities. Whilst I'm hugely proud of the achievements that we made next door at Pride House, and we didn't really want to try and replicate that in any way, I think that what has happened in here this week has been quite special. I'm a social worker to trade. I trained as a social worker in the mid-90s when we used to still do community work. That's probably where you should gasp and say, oh my God, you're only 21, surely that's enough. But no, so I'm always very keen to be thinking about how we can embed community planning and how we can get the power of LGBT communities and movements together to create initiatives like this. And that's really what has happened here over the course of this week. We started off with a budget of probably a bit less than zero, and with a whole kind of blank sheet, as it were, and have managed to create Pride House from that. Some of the very special things that have happened in here, which you will get the chance to do in a minute when I stop talking. We have a commemoration book for the victims of the Orlando shootings here. Please do feel free to take some time to have a look at that and add your contribution. We've had a writing station for kids over here. What's happened over the course of the week is lots of people from Glasgow have said, I don't want just my kids to do this, I'm going to do it and all. And what we've done is create a space where kids can write a letter to welcome refugees to the city, and then post it in the box there. So again, if you've got the space and time and you want to write a welcome letter, please do that. And put it in our box here. And the volunteers will be happy to help you make a smoothie on the bike as well, if that's your thing. So lots of stuff going on. A couple of things to mention, as well as all the kind of discussions that have happened here. We birthed a new sports group here in the space this week. And we also got a bunch of small organisations together for an event at one point, which has led to the birth of a new monthly third sector conversation cafe, which will happen here at Spoon as well. So lots of really good things that have been coming out of Pride House. I just have the task then of saying a big thank you to some of the sponsors. We did go out and start asking some people to give us a little bit of support and funding and lots of goodwill. So in particular I would like to thank Network Rail, Clydesdale Bank, the Weir Group PLC, the European Gay and Lesbian Sport Federation, Luke and Jack, who are a small business here in the city, and Ashgill, who I forgot to put in my list as well. We also want to thank all of the volunteers who have been here to make Pride House happen, but I would give particular recognition to our volunteer coordinator at the back here, Tommy, who has been the absolute face of all things volunteering. And the last thing that I would say, one thing that we've been doing here during the week is offering tea and coffee to the players and the officials and the folks who are here to enjoy the Homeless World Cup. And we've had quite a lot of teams and people through the door. By the way, isn't it wonderful that the women's team are outstripping the men's team? Not only in our national game, but also at the Homeless World Cup. I'm sure we still won't see that recognised for the wonder that it is. However, it's great to see. But we've been hosting players here throughout the week, and I suppose the big kind of message, the big theme that's really emerged from everything that we've been doing here was summed up really nicely in a conversation that I was having with the Dutch team, the Dutch women's team who were here. And we were kind of chatting about, the background that led to those women coming and participating in the Homeless World Cup, and one of them had said, sometimes you just have to stand up and make it happen yourself. And that's really been the kind of big theme that's come out of this, which is about be the change that you want to see. Don't wait to be invited, it's going to take a while for that to happen for some of us. So absolutely put yourself forward and do that. And sport, is a wonderful vehicle and tool to make that happen. And so that's the kind of inspiration that I've had from the Homeless World Cup and from the work of Mel and David and those who organised it.
I see the number 49. I hear the gunshots and the lights. My body's moving to a beat. They know that we won't see the signs. We hear the screaming and it's loud. Faces smiling to the sound. Get out of pots and keep on running. A flash of faces and we're crumbling. And we're crumbling. Get to your safe place. Wipe the tears from your face. I know it's hard when you're losing faith. I know that you'll be okay. Get to your safe place. Wipe the tears from your face. I know it's hard when you're losing faith. I know that you'll be okay. 'Cause I can hear your pulse. 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 We're afraid we can't speak. Tears are running down our cheeks. This isn't fair, this isn't right. This can't be happening on tonight. Don't lecture me on who to hate. It'll never be your place. Get out of pulse and keep on running. Tonight the world started crumbling. Started crumbling. Get to your safe place. Wipe the tears from your face. I know it's hard when you're losing faith. I know that you'll be okay. Get to your safe place. Wipe the tears from your face. I know it's hard when you're losing faith. I know that you'll be okay. Get to your safe place. Wipe the tears from your face. I know it's hard when you're losing faith. I know that you'll be okay. 'Cause I can hear your pulse. I can hear your pulse. I can hear your pulse. I can hear your pulse.
Thank you very much.